Got it. All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to today's episode on Talk About It Tuesday, titled WTF is NFT. 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 All right, so
let me make sure you guys are on here really quick.
So basically, I just wanted to figure out, and I'm sure a lot of other people wanted to figure out what all the hype is about, this new thing, NFT.
Who do we have with us today?
Who do we got here with us today? We got my boy Mike Doyle, NFT specialist, and my boy Benjamin, Bitcoin specialist.
Bitcoin maximalist. Let's go.
So I guess we could just kind of keep it cool today. Nice conversation. Feel free to chime in whenever you guys want. But what is an NFT?
An NFT is a non-fungible token.
So what the heck is that?
Think of a piece of art that's Mona Lisa. That is a one-of-one copy. It can't be reproduced.
So it can't be replicated.
It can't be replicated.
It can't be two of them.
There can't be two of them. So the thing with I'm shooting blanks here. Let me check my notes. Maenner, you got anything? You got any good explanations?
Yeah, I kind of think of it like a digital signature, like a digital trading card, if you will. And when you own it, it's on that chain, it's yours, and no one else can own that specific one. I guess that's kind of the way I'm kind of viewing some of them.
So that's kind of like its uniqueness. It's on the Ethereum chain, and that's different from Bitcoin because it's got the blockchain.
Yeah, well, it's a different chain, and there's a couple different chains that have them, but yeah, that's separate to like the Ethereum network or Solana or a bunch of other coins are they all have their own chain, and you can have your NFT on that specific chain. And again, if you own that one, I mean, if I own it, that means Doyle can't own it. He can't have it. That's mine. And then, if he owns one, I'm not allowed to have that one either. So that's kind of where the scarcity effect, I guess, kind of comes in on the NFTs.
Okay.
So the difference how I explain it is Bitcoin is finite. There's only 25 million Bitcoins?
21 million. Yep.
21 million. Okay. So Ethereum is basically like Bitcoin in that effect that it uses computer networks to talk to each other and verify transactions. The thing about Ethereum, though, is Ethereum is endless. So the list on Ethereum, you can track. So you buy this picture, you can go back and track who created this picture, who bought it, what I bought it for, all this information about this transaction, and it's available at your fingertips. So basically, SK, if I want to pay you right now, I pull out Venmo or I pull out Venmo, Cash App, something along those lines. I want to send you money. So I have to send that money. That money goes to my bank. My bank then sends out a letter to your bank saying, hey, SK just made $6 or SK spent $20. And here's who we paid it to. With cryptocurrency, I can just pay you directly with no middleman, essentially.
No middleman.
No middleman.
That's a crucial thing.
Why is that so important?
Well, it's an upgrade of what the interwebs are, or the internet, the digital airwaves, and we're now able to transfer value over the internet, but without like he was saying, without going through a bank or without requesting a third party to make the transaction happen. We can do it on our own. And this kind of reshapes the way kind of humans operate, because a lot of times to do any transaction, we have to kind of go through a third party, and kind of bringing that power back to ourselves is kind of one of the concepts that's at the root of the whole digital assets and Bitcoin, crypto, NFT, kind of at the root of the space here.
That makes sense. So how does those NFTs work? Like, like
And NFTs basically, think of it as a smart contract for a house. So when you buy this thing, let's use the example of Gary V. So Gary V makes this NFT, he sells it, and in this smart contract, he put that for the next 3 years that you get access to Gary V's big conference every year in Minnesota for free. So that's in the smart contract of the NFT.
So it's more of like a community.
Exactly. So with that, he's building community, and he starts selling his at $2,000. It's like a piece of art. You buy a Gary V cartoon, he's going to make these into real physical cartoons.
And you get access to, in that contract, you could code in or say access to anything, and that could, and all these contracts are just in a digital form now, which I think, again, is going to go a lot deeper than we kind of realize. And I do think we're at kind of the beginning layer, if not this first iteration of it and this first wave, things will definitely change, but digital property is on the way, and that's kind of underlying where a lot of some of the smart contracts are leading, especially with NFTs.
So is a smart contract basically like a privacy policy or something that you'd find on like some, anyone's website?
You know what? I've never read one.
Never?
Never.
SK, you're reading all the privacy policies. You got to read all of them.
Oh yeah. So what's the barriers to entry to get one of these NFTs? Who can use them?
I think anybody can use them. I think we're going to see a big market crash here coming up soon, just because stuff is getting overhyped and everyone's rushing these things out.
With the NFTs, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So someone builds I saw a project today. It had 150,000 people in here. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a big project. Well, it came out and something happened with their smart contracts, so the price on their pictures tanked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess there's definitely like a common misconception that an NFT is just a picture. I guess what would you guys say to that?
I mean,
so I think hold on. Did you guys hear about the Taco Bell's new club?
No, not at all.
They got like a $10 taco club, like a Netflix, a monthly subscription to Taco Bell.
And you can just get how many tacos?
I
don't know about this.
Someone told me about it the other day, and I'm like, Taco Bell should have been selling NFTs. And so if you buy a Taco Bell NFT and you have the regular taco, you get 5 free tacos a month or whatever. But if you have gold tacos, you get unlimited Baja Blast, or you get more value for having the gold taco.
To buy into a club.
Exactly.
It's not just a picture.
It is not just, that's where the smart contract comes into play. So I know this project I'm a part of, they're having a party out in, LA.
Everyone who has their NFT gets to go to the party.
Everyone who holds at least one gets to go. If you hold 2, you get to bring a +1.
Wow.
Mike, who's your +1?
Peter Bristol. Me and Peter are going.
Go.
Yeah.
So the market's a little bit unpredictable right now, is what you're thinking.
It is very unpredictable. It's what you buy NFTs with Ethereum. Ethereum is going down in price right now.
What percentage of NFTs do you think will make it in the long run?
Ooh. I personally think this first iteration, it's going to be a small amount. It's going to be obviously some of the first ones, like the CryptoPunks and the very expensive ones, and the Bored Apes, things that have kind of really built a community, because that's what's going to carry you through. If these if we do kind of get some sort of market corrections and less liquidity in the market, the community's got to be strong, because crypto can be very unforgiving to go through some downturns and quote like a bear market. I kind of think that will be short-lived, and I think the markets are flowing with money, and they will continue to flow, but they're definitely going to go in cycles of up and down and bullish and bearish. But it's really going to be about those communities, and a lot of projects are super new, and we have there's tons of projects being released, tons of I'm kind of seeing some of these NFTs as people, they're just flips, as they long-term investments. That's gonna, kind of remain to be seen. Can the community stick together? Is Gary Vee offering enough things with his card to continue to make it worth it in the future? Those are definitely things to be seen, but the wave is definitely coming, and it may pull out for a little bit, but it's gonna kind of continue moving forward. Mike, who do you think? What projects are you thinking that or what's going to make a project make it through into the future?
I got one called World of Women.
Okay, I heard that.
That one's probably a top tier project. What a lot of these projects do is, so they raise all this money and they give a lot of it back to the community, and then they'll take the remainder and they can put it in a fund, and you as an NFT holder can vote on what happens to that money.
Now, is that fund, is it staying crypto, or is it going like stocks?
No, it's
bonds?
staying crypto.
It's staying crypto.
It's staying crypto.
Okay. And this is more of a question for maybe Ben and Bitcoin, maybe a little bit unrelated, but what do you think causes those markets to fluctuate?
Yeah, I'm curious. What do you think? What's causing the crypto dump right now?
Let's be honest. There's so many market
outside
forces
factors
at play.
Yeah,
there is. You've got. Again, Bitcoin's kind of growing into an actual real asset class. Like crypto is becoming a real asset class, and it's still only 1 to 3 trillion, and there's $400 trillion of like global wealth. So it's very small in that regard, but it is starting to pull money from other places. And there's a lot of, people say whales, or there's retail. Again, there's so many different ways kind of the money kind of flows through the market, and it's kind of like a cycle of nature. You can't just only be in summer forever. You kind of have to go through the fall and the winter, and then come back up with the spring. So kind of a boom and bust is, it's going to happen as there's flows. It's just in crypto, those flows are crazy. You can go up 400% and then be down 80%. I kind of think that those wild swings are becoming shorter. We're getting shorter of those periods. And the cycle is always changing, but I'm speaking for Bitcoin. I think the value proposition has yet to be realized by the world, and the price of Bitcoin is either 0 or 100 million. There's no in between. So until we reach hyper Bitcoinization, which every single house and stock and grocery store item is valued in how many sats or how much Bitcoin that is, there's still going to be, there's still going to be money kind of flowing in. But there's a lot of market forces that kind of move things around. And especially with, we're dealing with a real hard sound money, and to the likes of, I kind of think of it, it's literally gold on steroids, like gold times 100 or gold times 1,000. Bitcoin's better in almost every single regard. And part of gold's issue was that it got kind of captured or centralized, where they could take your gold in and give you a paper IOU of, you own gold in the bank. Well, then they start realizing, well, hey, nobody's going to come collect, so we can kind of just give out more than we
can do it all on paper now.
Yeah, it's all just paper, and
now it's all digital.
Yeah, now it's all digital, and I personally, and that's the thing with Bitcoin, is you can actually take custody of it, so you can actually own it. So there's no IOU, and that's getting rid of that third party that we talked about early on, which is
The feds, the
Yep,
Federal
yeah.
Reserve.
Yep, all of that, and kind of getting them out of your money is, we've never had that before, and it's kind of my opinion that if everyone were to go, either take custody of their Bitcoin and pull it off the exchange, I don't think there'd be enough to go around. I actually think that it would, some people might be like, oh geez, I can't access my funds, but the price of it would just go astronomical. And I do think we get a breaking point in the price of Bitcoin in the versus like other global markets, but I think that could be years off. I think it's something in this decade, but we're gonna have some time before a real financial meltdown, if you will.
Someone's messaging in and asking us, how do you buy an NFT?
So you buy an NFT on, it's called OpenSea.io. And that is basically the eBay of NFTs. So they hold the monopoly right now. I'm sure in a couple of years we'll see, or maybe hopefully some point this year, that we'll see something that comes in better. So if you jump on there, you can explore, you can type in anything you want up in the search bar and just pull up what.
And it takes what's it called? The Ethereum?
Ethereum or Solarium?
This is an Ethereum market. Solarium
so you have to actually change your money into Ethereum before you can buy.
You have to buy Ethereum with USD.
Yep.
Yeah. So then you have to go to a crypto exchange, like what is it, Coinbase?
Mm-hmm. Coinbase.
They'll buy your Ethereum, and then you transfer it to your MetaMask, which is basically your hardware wallet.
Hardware wallet. Can you believe that? What a name.
Your crypto wallet.
Your crypto wallet.
Yeah.
That is crazy. All right. So I guess I'm off camera, by the way. Ren is still here for Talk About It Tuesday. But I'm just, letting the good-looking men take over.
Yeah.
Take over here. But I guess I heard this the other day, and it kind of and I hope I haven't come in at a bad time with this. I know you guys have a lot more things to talk about, but I heard someone say, NFTs, and I'm very my personal opinion, because I'm just an old lady, and I'm kind of like, no, Sean, this sounds crazy. This sounds insane. And I heard the other day, well, the way that people are feeling about this now, that they think it's so out
outlandish.
of this world, right? That they can't even get behind it because
they relate it to back when credit cards first came out and people
Red, you sound like your mom who's afraid to put her credit card on the computer to buy something.
Exactly.
I know. And same, even smaller than that. When MySpace came out, my parents were like, don't go on MySpace. It's dangerous.
Yeah, what are you doing on the internet? Remember Match.com when it first came out? It's like there's only creepos on Match, and now, Tinder's a regular thing.
I mean, we have
So what do you guys think about that? People are scared and they're not
so I think when people mention the metaverse, that's what freaks people out.
It's like the black market.
Yeah, I think the whole metaverse idea is a far off. But for example, look at all these kids that play Fortnite all the time, and they sit there and they spend all their parents' money on all this, crazy outfits and stuff. That means nothing. Think if all those crazy outfits are NFTs.
It's just do you think that it falls into the category of entertainment?
It definitely 150%. Yes.
You think Doyle says 150%. Benjamin, what do you say?
Making money's fun. So that's entertainment.
Where the NFT market is right now, I think we'll see lots of real world applications come out in the next couple of years, but it's mainly focused on gaming because gaming is going to be the lowest entry point for integration. If that makes sense.
Because it's easy to have a video game and in the game you have a sword or something that's a 1-of-1 or they kind of already have that kind of going with Fortnite. It's just now kind of taking it to the next level. Ren, I was going to say to your point, there was Nobel Prize winners in 1995 saying that the internet was a fad and it was scary and it was dumb and it's going to blow up and not
I
do
love
anything.
that. I love that.
And
I
now
love
look
that.
where we are. And I mean, going even further back, when we got electricity, there was, in the newspaper, they're saying it's a fad. It's gonna start fires. It's never gonna work. You go back to cars when, from people that had horses, and then Ford comes out with his car. Like, there's always going to be kind of that pushback from the old school, but technology just keeps moving forward. And these are the latest iterations of kind of where things are headed.
I guess, like, to your point, they're like, how can, I'm younger than you probably, I think.
Yeah.
My
you are.
young skin. So, and like, how can you guys be so like excited to be on board with something that is so like
new?
I think, there's just, potentially trying to see where things are going. I was on a call the other day, and I think this guy was probably like 65, and he was probably the most excited about NFTs that I've ever seen. And it was just like funny, just being like, this guy is just, so there's always kind of that wave kind of coming along. And it's kind of seeing where, I mean, I'm speaking more for Bitcoin. Like, I just see an upgrade in money. Like, we're getting an upgrade in money. It went from, seashells to animal skins to African beads to precious metals to gold.
Just another medium.
It's exactly. It's just another medium. And I think holding Bitcoin right now is like 5,000 years ago, and your buddy has seashells and you have a bar of gold, and you're just kind of we're just kind of waiting for everyone to realize, he probably thinks you're like, no, that's not very valuable, but it's just the newest upgrade, the newest medium that as money is just a tool, there's always a better tool for a job. Like, what's going to dig a hole better, me with a shovel or a huge backhoe, so picking the right tool for the job is crucial. And I think we're just getting an upgrade in our tools that are at human disposal.
Mike's all about the tools.
What my favorite quote in life is.
This is going on Mike's
put this on my gravestone. A job is 90% tools.
Yeah. Hey,
you can do any job in the world if you got the right tools.
I think was it Abe Lincoln? I hope I'm not quoting this wrong, but he said, if I got 6 hours to chop a tree, I'll use the first 4 sharpening the axe.
Yeah.
That's Doyle right there.
Work smart, not hard, baby.
Yep.
I think what most people don't realize about NFTs is like this isn't going anywhere. I think at one point in life, like, your car title is going to be an NFT. My house deed is going to be an NFT. All this stuff is going to live on the market because it's easily verifiable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what makes it so much more secure? Like, I mean, how could it be more secure than, I mean, some of like
the FDIC?
Yeah, like, how could it?
I'll say in there is NFTs on Bitcoin. The original ones were on Counterparty on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin as a computer network is the most secure computer network on planet Earth. Like, the most secure, hard to break, because it's rooted in cryptography. That's where like crypto comes from, is cryptography, and that's kind of the whole essence of this entire wave, which kind of got started in the 70s and the 80s. When kind of the internet came about, there was kind of the cypherpunks, or a rogue wave of people that were trying to use the internet to have these contracts that can't be broken. Couldn't be broken by a government telling you to shut it off. It's already out there.
So hold on, I got a good one for this. So Ren, think of like Facebook. Have you ever gone, or by Google over in Iowa? Have you ever driven by the Google server farms?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it's where Shani lives. Shani works. Shout out Shani. But Shani works over there, and he looks in. They have just these big rooms just full of computers, and so all the data on Google lives on these big computers. With Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is a decentralized network. So these computers live all over the world, and there's not one central location they reside. So that's how they provide the security. And the whole time, these computers are just sitting there 24/7 and solving complex math problems, essentially, of encryption.
And
and
are
storing
there
all.
like owners of this? Might be a kind of a dumb question, but is there like one owner of NFT?
No. So
like, do
you
all the
can
people
make.
that make NFTs, like, do they have to pay out a percentage of the money that they make from selling their NFT to the NFT government?
So
Like,
that's where there's a fee. So when I sell you my NFT, and you buy it from me, there's a fee that gets paid, and that goes to the miners, to like include your transaction. You know, so
and who are those people?
Those are people that run miners. You know,
Yeah, I mean, anybody, we could set one up at your house.
Yep, and that's the barrier to entry, is it's a lot lower. So you could literally set up a Bitcoin or an Ethereum miner in your own home, and be a part of the network, and kind of verify transactions. I think that, again, that's you know, we don't get a run a Venmo server. You know, we don't get to run a you know, you don't get to run your own back end Amazon AWS server to kind of facilitate these transactions.
Yeah. So how do those NFTs get their value, or where does their value come from? I guess. Like, how do you establish value for an NFT?
It's all you, Doyle.
Basically the community you build behind it. So
The demand for it?
How NFTs, yes, the demand for it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an artist. You know, if you look at an artist painting, when they first start painting, people think it looks like shit. And then 50 years later, it's worth 10 million bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically where they get their value is it's all market driven value. At
Okay.
any time, if there's a big enough part of the community says we're out, they can sell.
Benjamin, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say value can kind of be subjective. We all kind of make up what is value, or the belief in it creates the value. I will say that I've seen some things that a lot of these NFTs are being pushed around by like a small few. So very large people are. I saw a thing where a lot of the volume coming from all these, like not all of them, but a lot of projects is concentrated in only like a few wallets, or a few people are controlling that. And again, you know, realistically, if I was an artist and I had an NFT and I wanted to sell it for $100,000 and I list it for $100,000, and let's say I have $100,000 on the side, well, I could just buy it from myself and then relist it, and it makes it look like, oh geez, there's like a big project going on here, when in reality it's just kind of circling behind the scenes, between, like, you know, me or a couple people. So you could get a couple of friends together, and you can really, I think that's what a lot of some of these are, is they're driving hype by just putting a bunch of money at it and just kind of circling it. And that makes it look like, oh geez, these projects are like super valuable. And that's where, again, I agree with Doyle. I think NFTs are going to be around. I do just think this first wave and iteration is maybe a little hyped on the hype side, but eventually the money comes in, it'll kind of settle on the main projects or the best tech, and then another wave will kind of come in, and the projects that make it through, and like you said, build a community and you know, have real kind of tokenomics on the back end. Those are the ones that I think will continue to go.
So it's a bit speculative.
Very. I would say it is very speculative. Like, I mean, it's, you know, it's a, so I don't know if you've seen, Doyle, have you seen the art blocks? I mean, like, there's a project where it's just like, they just got a simple paint picture render, and it's just like a little rainbow squiggle of colors, and it's like, dude, that sold for like 300 grand. Like, is that really worth 300 grand? Like, I don't know.
Those ones you always got to be a little speculative.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. You could buy a house with that provides like warmth and utility, and you could raise a family in, or you could own this like picture that's on the internet somewhere. I mean,
so basically,
I heard that one guy, what's that Jake Paul guy?
Yeah.
like he's like, well, I just bought this to buy it, to say I bought a NFT that was $2 million.
And it's a status
now
symbol.
someone else wants it because I have it.
Well, Renat, you got to look at it from Jake Paul's standpoint. He's got enough say to drive social. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out, where he talks about something that's cool, and now all of a sudden everybody wants it.
And you could pay Jake to promote your project for enough money, he'd probably do it. So that's where the back end marketing, like you gotta be doing
so
any
project you look at, you pull up on OpenSea, you can see the number of items, how many total items it has, the number of owners, the cost it is, and how much it's traded. So what you want to see in a project is that it has less than 2 pieces per owner. If you go to a project and it has 100 items and 1 owner, that's not going to drive up value. So it's the old supply and demand trick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess this is a pretty good question, because we always talk about just to keep moving, we always talk about, real estate investments and how, we've seen success through investing in real estate. It's actually real. We can touch it. We can feel it. And we like that. And, kind of comparing the two, this is a hype that it has also been hyped up in the recent years with all the, HGTV shows and things like that. So it's they both have been hyped. One of them is like physically tangible, I guess you can say. How are you guys seeing this as, are you guys seeing this as an investment? Can they be used as an investment? What kind of investment is this? Is it a long-term investment, short-term investment?
Mike, you go first.
I think there's, Ren, I think you can do whatever you want. And that's the beauty of it.
But is it
if you find something that it is an investment. It's a gamble. It's actually a gamble. I wouldn't even call it an investment. It's 100% gamble.
It depends on what's your framework for an investment.
Well, I think the reason why I asked that is because like you can prove that real estate is an investment off of its historical data, right? Mm-hmm. Like there is historical data to show us appreciation, depreciation.
And that's where the price signal comes in. The price is the representation of what someone is willing to pay to buy or sell it,
Well, and there's really no historical data.
Yeah, I mean, again,
there's just a couple. There's just like NFTs have only been around like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, some projects
3 or 4 years.
Some projects have a couple days of price action, or Bitcoin has 12 and a half years of price action, and that price is telling you that's the information. The price is the information, and agreed, it's not 50 years of data on a specific location or a house or just houses in general. But again, houses had to start somewhere with a value of what they would be. It's just, early on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
so
I was gonna as an investment, me personally, to me, these things are just flips right now. If you can make moves, like go for it. I think there's money to be made. You can lose a lot of money pretty quickly if you don't really know what you're doing. Long term, I think Bitcoin has the longest track record. If we're going to go off of history, it definitely has the longest track record. But again, it's all what your time preference is. Are you looking to buy something and sell it in a couple days or weeks or months, or are we going to move towards that more traditional framework of an investment as a long-term investment? And on your risk scale, Bitcoin is the least risky out of any crypto endeavor that you can take. And these NFTs are probably pushing a little farther out on the risk scale. So it's all your preference of what you're trying to do in kind of your portfolio.
Nice. So what are some of the downfalls for NFTs?
You can lose all your money.
Boom, done. That's it. There is no
It is. I call it the wild west of the internet, because it is easy. You join some of these projects, and within seconds of joining, So use this chatting app called Discord, and you jump in these chat rooms essentially with all these people that are hyping up this project. And so you just get it, you find a new project, say, hey, this looks kind of cool, let me check it out. So I open up their Discord and you join the Discord. Within seconds, someone is trying to steal your money.
Really?
They're sliding in the DM saying, hey, you've been magically selected to get early access to this project. Here's the website, go send us some money.
Oh my God.
And so if you don't mind your P's and Q's,
oh my God, I would be taken.
Yeah.
I would give someone my address and they would come and take me.
All right. All right.
So it's in the same sense that I'm not paying with a credit card. It is also that I am responsible for making sure that that this Sean is getting my money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I take that responsibility in my hand using this type of currency.
Yep.
Wow.
What do you guys see as the future for NFT?
I think Doyle was kind of hitting on it earlier. I do think it's going to be a bunch of different things, you know, whether it's the house or your car or ways you get access to celebrities or projects or ways you can vote. You know, you might be able to soon vote on, you know, the new editions of kind of Fortnite or new games that come out. You'll be able to have a kind
like depending on your like if you have like a
if you're in the
gold
community,
sword,
yep.
if you want to spend,
I think we would actually. I think we would vote. Since I work on election machines, I'm saying we're going to use NFTs to vote.
Yeah,
There's be able to cast your ballot electronically, and
wow,
I'll be able to.
You really opened your idea out to all of Facebook right there.
I know. No one better steal my patent.
It's already trademarked, guys. It's already done.
I just gave away my patent idea.
Well, I guess, you know, first one to do it, right?
That's cool.
That is also the cool thing about it too, I guess, is like if you create it, you're the original creator, right? No one can take that away.
Absolutely. And that's what the beauty of it is. At any given time,
you just have to get enough people around it to give it value. It's like literally, it could be considered like building a business. Like if you get the right kind of people or investors to invest in your business, then it just makes your business worth more money.
And that's where
that's
where Jake Paul's going to get paid to promote your, you know, it's worth it for you to be like, hey, yo, Jake Paul, I'll give you 250 grand if you like say you buy
it's like any influencer, influencer.
Same thing. Yep. And that's where kind of the marketing comes in, and where you got to kind of do your due diligence and your own research to kind of figure out, you know, how legit is this thing? Does it have legs and so forth?
Well, and that's what I think, like, you know, like a lot of those influencers, like they have pull because they're in front of so many people are watching what they have to say. Yep. Even if it's
so you look at the Nelk Boys, they came out with one, it's called the members card. They're going to build physical locations around the United States, one in LA, Miami, Las Vegas. And the only way you're going to be able to go to this place is if you're hold one of their NFTs. So basically the members card.
I just look at it as like buying into a club.
You think people start like doing like hedge funds off these things or what?
Absolutely. I want to talk to this guy I've been chatting with a little bit. It sounds like he's doing that exact same thing.
It kind of seems like an unrated, like a non-regulated.
It is very unregulated right now.
Yeah,
that won't last forever. So enjoy the Wild West while we got it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like you could get people to put money into an NFT and then just go take that money and go buy real estate and say that they're all owners of this property.
There is something along those lines. I mean, that's generally just kind of I saw there's one with a golf course where you buy the NFT and it gives you like special access to certain golf courses, or they might build one and you could like have some sort of say in it. I haven't kind of really followed up with it. But yeah, I think those there's going to be tons of iterations of it kind of coming out moving forward, I think, for sure.
God, the topic of NFT is like so vast. Like it's not really what you think it is.
Everyone is all speculating right now, Renata.
Well, that's
Even-
why we came live to really. We wanted to talk about the buzzword.
We need less speculators and more doers.
Yeah, the utility of it is endless. I think at one point in life, you're going to be taking all of the pictures you take, and you're going to be creating NFTs out of them.
Well, I'm really glad that we were able to come on, and get the two guys that I personally know that know the most about this topic, and just kind of, I don't know, Talk About It Tuesday isn't all about real estate. It's about things that are important in the world, and about things that everyone are seeing, things that everyone are doing, and everyone is hearing about this right now. If you're a grandpa, you've heard your nieces and you've heard your grandkids talk about it. If you're people have heard the word
for sure.
So
it's not going anywhere.
So I'm curious on what you guys think, and kind of Ben too, like, with this new product basically that you can use with Ethereum. Do you think there will be more products like that in the future, or I guess like lines that you can use this with? Basically, do you think it will give it more growth potential?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, it's just the new innovation. The wave comes out, tons of things get made, and then it'll kind of pull back, and the excess, the things that were kind of aren't going to make it, they die off, and then that kind of regroups, and then the next iteration kind of snowballs and comes off of that. It's always going to kind of lead into new things. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that I think Bitcoin in this regard is different than NFTs. I think, again, it's a money thing. Just moving forward, I think that there's a new money here. And I just think that's something everyone should own. I think, a lot of smart investors talk about when a product that gets the strongest market fit and the most dominant force, like a Facebook or an Apple, it's very hard for them to kind of get knocked off their horse. Basically, it's the fastest horse in the race, and it's established, itself as number one for long enough. And especially with Bitcoin reaching $1 trillion in market cap, I think that that's actually the momentum that's just going to continue to carry it forward. And important thing to own some Bitcoin as we move forward along with these NFTs. I would agree.
I like that.
So if people want to talk more about this, I guess both of you guys, how should they get a hold of you? Even if this is what you do for your business and you just are looking to talk to people to gain more information than what was given tonight. I know Doyle just likes friends to just go off on this about. How can they
get a hold of me, and I'll give you my Discord. And like I said, Discord is the chat app that it's basically the epicenter of the Wild Wild West. It's where all the projects are birthed, and you can do a lot of learning in there.
A lot of learning. You've been sitting in those rooms for a minute.
I've been spending a long time in those rooms, but you know what? I've talked to a lot of people about this, and it's just something that can't be ignored.
Something that can't be ignored. That's pretty powerful.
Ben, how do they get a hold of you?
At me on Instagram, Crypto Lion, or join Doyle's Discord and chop it up with NFTs.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining us. It's been a lot of fun.
Lots of information. I just it's an interesting topic.
Yep.
It's like learning a second language.
It's very interesting, and it's actually exciting a little bit. It's exciting.
It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to learn. It's a big change.
Yes. Stay curious, stay learning, get you some Bitcoin.
Yes.
Spend some time on Google, and everyone needs to be educating themselves on this stuff.
Get your 50 hours in on Google.
Get your 50 hours in on Google, and do some research and come up with your own opinions on this stuff.
Yep. Love
Well,
it.
thanks for tuning in to Talk About It Tuesday. Mike, can you remind the folks where they're watching?
Oh, on SK and Ren's real estate page.
You
And what is today?
And call them if you need a fungible house. They will
Talk It Tuesday. Let's go.
Mike,
Let's roll.
tell me what it is, Mike.
Talk About It Tuesday with SK and Ren, my real estate friends.
There you go, baby.
Tune in next Tuesday
at 8 p.m. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
8 p.m. We'll see you next Tuesday.
All right, guys. See ya.
All right, see you guys.
Peace.